So, if anyone's watching the video version of this, to show my dominance for this, I'm going to be the Rhea Ripley of this episode because Sullivan made me a cup of tea in a mug that says "Mummy."
Mummy.
It says "Mummy" on it.
Luke Owen, M-U-M.
So well, that's why I'm Rhea Ripley this week.
Well, okay.
So I have to also be Partridge, and you have to be Lynn.
Oh, fine. The true hero of the piece.
My kid loves Bluey.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I found the Bluey theme song extended on
geez.
Spotify as part of a Bluey album.
Yeah.
And the theme tune to Bluey is very simple. It's just the music, and then they introduce the characters. Mum, Dad, Bingo, Bluey.
Yeah.
And da-da-da-da-da-da, Mom, da-da-da-da. And then on Spotify,
continue.
as people know on Spotify, it's got the lyrics on there.
Right.
So you can just like click the lyrics. It has got the lyrics to Bluey. But believe me, Dan, I was furious to see that they had credited it as Mom. M-O-M. And I was like, oh, no, honey.
No.
This is an Australian show. It is M-U-M. Thank you very much.
Do you know that in Birmingham and other places in the Midlands, they say Mom? I know. My friend Kelly Phillips, who grew up near Dudley, she used to say my mom.
But
and she used to spell it M-O-M.
Yeah, well, I mean, an ex-girlfriend of mine from Sunderland, her brother used to spell it Mam.
Oh, well, that's different.
M-A-M.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But M-O-M in the United Kingdom and Great Britain and Northern Ireland is not kosher.
It's not absolutely.
And that's why we all, as one, reject Birmingham.
Then we got a superb 15, 20 minutes, I think. It went long.
It went long.
Could have gone longer for me. National Scissor Day, and it was
Scissoring Day.
Sorry, Scissoring Day. This was in Washington D.C., so a lot of the Max Caster comedy was based around politicians and being ineffective and Biden stuttering, but they actually admirably wove in quite a nice, heartwarming message about scissoring bringing people together.
So my wife was in the room while this was happening. And, you know, they're wearing T-shirts that say, "Scissor me, daddy ass." And they've got the guy constantly shouting, "Scissor me, daddy ass." And then another guy being like, "Turn to your fellow American to your left, throw up your twos, and scissor your neighbor." And they all just start scissoring each other in the crowd.
With big smiles.
Huge smiles on their face, enormous eruptions when they did the big three-way one at the end, and everyone was going, "Oh, hey!" My wife just was like, "What are you watching?" I said, "Look, there are some things in wrestling that just get over and you cannot explain why." And she was like, "But someone needs to explain this." And I was like, "I don't think you can. It just got over in the biggest way."
Yeah, it's so some things, a lot of things in wrestling. I am embarrassed when someone walks into a room and sees it, and I'm like, oh yeah, it was the Attitude Era. It was a different time.
They called it Raw Underground.
Yeah. This, I do not care.
No.
If someone comes in and goes, "What on earth are you watching?" I'm like, that's your problem. This is excellent.
I was good. When my wife was looking at me puzzled, I just went, "Scissor me, though." It's happened again, everyone. Welcome to the Blackpool Content Club, WrestleTalk Podcast. I'm Luke Owen, DAD. I'm joined by Tempest, your Jam That Champion. I'm joined by Chopper P. Quinnell, and we are the Blackpool Content Club. And maybe one week we'll get to do a fun episode of this show.
Goodness me, do you remember the first one?
Yeah.
When it was like, how's Triple H first 3 weeks been?
Those heady days of 8 weeks ago when we had the fun and excitement of a new Triple H era.
Let's reflect on Roman Reigns. Let's talk about
Izzy
PWA 500.
I know, but like I'm just gonna put a call out, okay, to wrestling. Just pack it in, will you? Just have a day off.
Wind your neck in.
Have a week off.
Yeah.
I don't have the energy. I still don't have the energy to do, because all of my energy for this sort of thing has been completely sapped from me. Sean Ross sapped. Well done.
And Andrade's run in AEW, I would say, has been pretty terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I would class it as bad.
That's
what I'd class it as.
I think it's the worst actual push effort that AEW have tried on someone who could have been an actual star.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, what's he done since? He's feuded with
occasional good match.
That's it. Like, he had a good couple of matches with Pac, right?
Yeah.
And
had
then
a few good matches with Pac, had a good street fight match with Cody, had a good 3-way with Sammy and Darby, and it's like, it's kind of it, a little bit here and there.
A long thing with Matt Hardy.
And
Goodness me.
The HFO and the AFHO and then the AFO. And like, it only feels like
I'd rather that GTFO, am I right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm really trying for the comedy today, mate.
Pete is on fire today. Nice. Honestly, give it up for Pete in the comments. And then it really felt
tonally dissonant. Sorry.
Well, it's fine. I'm here for it.
So what happened? It was an I Quit match. Balor and Edge, they brawled into the crowd, and all the time the referee is holding up the microphone to their mouths. I hate that style of I Quit.
No. Hell no.
Hello.
A lot of them are just sort of like Frankenstein monsters, like.
Really not for me. But again, they were working very good. I could hear it.
Out of breath, the pair of them. We'll get into the rest of your old chat. Ding, ding, ding. This is your last call for them. WrestleTalk.com/support. We'll read out all of them above the $5 amount. Jose Rivera said, I was there at the event. The show was definitely better on TV. The crowd were actively laughing during the I Quit match. All we could hear were grunts randomly.
Yeah.
It's funny if you're on the other side of the arena, you could just... We went to an ad break, came back. Judgment Day was still in the ring. Rhea has an armband on with Beth written on it because they gave her the concerto at Extreme Rules, rather.
Because she's a git.
And Finn talked about how he made Edge quit. Dom is getting the most heat of anyone in this group, though. They hand the microphone to Dom, and he basically just says, it turned me on to see Rhea kill Beth.
And I know it turned you on
as well.
You bloody simps.
We all got huge boners over that,
I
didn't we?
loved that line because it's like, tell him he's wrong. I know a lot of you people with your phones in your hand tweeting along. You're loving it.
Absolutely.
You're loving it.
You're all asking her to step on you big dirty pervs.
Yeah.
It's so great. And I like that they are really leaning into this. She dominates me.
Yeah.
I'm her sub, and she is my dom.
And it's allowing me to find my, I'm her dom, and also it's very complicated linguistically.
Mm-hmm.
It's like leaning into him. They all seem to love how much he's getting, and it seems to be giving him confidence, and he's getting better. And it's like, lean into the thing that you've got, which is that we all want to punch you. Literally, we want to see you be punched.
He is one promo away from on Raw just being like, she pegs me. And you're all jealous of that. And I can see it, the look on your faces. Every one of you wishes you were me.
Just in a backstage segment, she's just putting away in the drawer. She's cleaning it while they're talking, while they're being like, oh, we're great. We're amazing.
Damien Priest's like, we rule.
Yeah, we really do, Damien.
So it's like, Mother takes off one sick day and this happens.
We bring up pegging. Sorry, Jenna. German Chavez. Hey, how do you guys sleep? Also, Luke, I'm hosting a Quizlemania with my friends tonight, but based on video games and Pokemon. Already have a few, but any round suggestions?
Can you do Whose Nips Are These, but with Pokemon?
I thought you meant, as in, like, who's Pokemon nipples?
Yeah. Like,
who has nipples in Pokemon?
Well, I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I mean, I don't know a lot about Pokemon. I've said on this show many times before, I've made the joke that I was too old for Pokemon. People were like, you were the right age for Pokemon. I was like, no, because when I was in year 8 is when Pokemon became big in the UK. And Pokemon was something that the year 7s were into. So you weren't allowed to be into something that the year 7s were into because year 7s are lame. We're cool and we're year 8.
So not even Machamp has nipples. There's Machamp.
So in which case can you do... what other rounds do we do? You could do Herd Mentality. Is a good one to do. Wavelength might be a fun one to do.
I mean, if you can find some Hitmonchan's got a nice little outfit on, so you won't see Hitmonchan's nipples. Maybe that's the game. Maybe you give them a 5-minute task and see if you can find a Pokemon who likely would have nipples and whether they indeed do.
Yeah, and I mean, what you could do is do battle nips, where you would say, where do his nips go? So you can
pin the nipple on the Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a real problem with this part of the show. I'm going to go in a second. Matt Riddle coming out with his bloody bongos. This got on my nerves to the point where I was pacing my living
Did
room.
Did you not enjoy?
No.
Do you want to hit my bong?
No. I did not enjoy Did You Want to Hit My Bong?
Because I did. I thought it was quite funny.
I thought that was low-hanging fruit. Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle.
I don't know. No, it's Matt Riddle. But like they had the segment when Rollins and Riddle were having a scrap, and he's like, fight pit, and the intensity was so strong. It's Matt Riddle. He's a cage fighter. Yeah, you can have a little bit of comedy here and there. You can have a little bit of lightness, but he was just a buffoon. He sits on the floor and he's playing his little bongos. He's like a child.
He's playing the bongos like it's a piano. He's mimicking Elias.
But why is he mimicking? Why is he a child? Why is he Eugene?
He's a stoner.
He's Eugene.
He's Michelangelo.
No.
He is Mikey. He is the worst of the turtles.
Yeah,
Actually, that stands okay. He's the third. He's the third best of the turtles. Leonardo's the worst of the turtles. We all know that. He's the third best of the turtles.
It made me cross. It made me cross, and I wanted Matt Riddle. I'm not always a sort of sourpuss who doesn't like comedy. I'm not someone who doesn't believe there's a role for stupidity and a role for silliness. I just think that the silliness, Kurt Angle, Chad Gable, this is what I'm talking about. You can pour milk down yourself. You can be a bit silly. You can have a tiny hat, Jimmy Crack Corn, all of that stuff. This wasn't funny. This was a man-child, and I don't know. It didn't work for me. It didn't vibe with me. It makes it harder for me to buy into Matt Riddle as a viable threat to see him go into. I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. I'm sorry. Made me cross.
I'm wondering we should do another poll of who is the best turtle, because we've got 4 options available. So Mod Mother, can we have a poll, please? Can we find out who is the best turtle?
I'm never going to feel bad for derailing the pod ever again.
My full Alan Partridge mode here. Who is the best turtle? Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael. Can I make a prediction,
please?
Raph, Don, Mikey, Leo.
Right.
That's my prediction. It may go Raph, Mikey, Don, Leo, but that is wrong.
This is a poll exclusively for you. This is for an audience of 1.
I mean, as we all know, it's Don, Raph, Mikey, Leo. As we all know that.
All of us know.
Because all of us have played Turtles in time, so we all know that Donnie is the best choice. Also, he's just the best turtle. That's stone cold fact.
Sure.
So, there you go.
I have about as much of opinion on this as I do on Slipknot's latest
album. So anyway, yeah, that poll will go in a minute. We've now got, get this, a United States Championship that has a storyline. It has a feud. Not only that, it has 4 active players in this picture now that are fractured into 2 separate storylines of Rollins and Ali and Riddle and Elias.
Yeah.
You could do a fatal 4-way off the back of that. You can exchange the 4 of those rounds in different matches. Suddenly, for the first time in the Trips era, the US title has a point and it has a purpose. And for a brand that does not have a top men's title, they have needed this.
I agree. Why was he coming out playing bongos? It undercuts everything. It makes it look stupid. It makes it look frivolous. You can't tell me that this is a serious thing that someone cares about. If his warm-up for his championship main event match is I'm going to come out with I'm going to go source some bongos. No, stop it.
But then he got to say,
do that in the opening segment.
But then he got to say, do you want to hit my bong?
Oh, ha! No! There's times for comedy and this isn't it. It made me so cross. So cross.
Oh, I quite liked it.
Good for you. I'll buy you a pair of bongos for Christmas.
And plus, I got to do my perfect Alan Partridge. Who is the best lord of the rings, of the dance, or of the flies?
You give me if we're going to do a fatal 4-way, assign a turtle to each of these people.
Oh, obviously. Okay, so
just trying to speak your language.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So Riddle is Michelangelo.
Right.
I think that Rollins is Raph.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Ali is Leo, which makes Elias Donatello, I guess. Because Mikey is the fun-loving stoner. Raph is the brooding one. Then Leo is the one that stands up for like truth and honor and justice, and that's Donatello. And then that sort of leaves Leonardo rather. And Donatello, he's the guy that does machines. And I suppose you could say that instruments.
A keyboard is a machine.
A keyboard is a machine. I think if you were to watch what was that Stephen King movie, Maximum Overdrive,
which I haven't.
Which is where, like, because of the orbit of the moon, machines come alive and they start to kill humans.
Right.
I think that in Stephen King's Maximum Overdrive, in which he said that he did a whole lot of cocaine, he doesn't actually remember making it.
Great.
That the keyboard would try and kill someone. So yes, I think that Donatello does machines. Therefore, Elias is Donatello.
Okay. Well, I like your logic.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Well, here we go. We now know, we've got the results in. Who is the best turtle? Michelangelo with 28%, tied with Raphael with also 28%. Donatello with a very disappointed 21%, while Leonardo got nearly as much with 20% of the vote. I'm actually massively disappointed by you lot.
Well, I think we can all agree that certainly was a poll.
I am huge. Like, all of you need to have a word with yourselves. Take a good, long, hard look in the mirror and really have a word with yourselves.
If you want to make a change. What, the lyrics to Man? I really went in blind just then. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change.
Make that change. Make that change. It's my favorite Janet Jackson song. Scream.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that was a Janet Jackson song. I was like, right, I'm going to fight you. Yeah, Scream is a great one. Seen it perform it live.
It's a great track.
Mine is That's the Way Love Goes.
Yeah, but also like go and play through Turtles in Time as Michelangelo or Raphael, see how far that gets you. Donatello's got the reach, lads.
But also on our Patreon page, you get a bunch of extra like bonus content and all that stuff. And if you pledge at the $25 or above tiers, you get your own custom wrestling nickname, and it gets read out on a show, much like this one.
Zoey sung 101. Ooh ooh ooh. No one gets it.
I didn't like it. I didn't like that you did that.
Well, you should name it that then.
I didn't. Maybe I did. I can't remember. Thank you so much, all of our Patreon backers over on our Patreon page. Patreon.com/WrestleTalk. Go do the stuff. There's lots.
You see me standing here. Do I look good, my dear? Gonna get demonetized.
Yep. It's so perfectly done that we'll get demonetized.
Do I look good today? Today? Ooh, ooh, ooh.
There has been instances of people who cannot wrestle using that as a cover to do stuff. There's big, like, celebrity matches, or there'll be like a Vince McMahon match or whatever, where he can't really wrestle, so they just do a bunch of weapon spots to cover for the lack of wrestling.
Every Vince McMahon match is a no-holds-barred match.
Absolutely, yeah, because it has to be, because he can't wrestle.
It's only smoke and mirrors. Exactly. As a way to hide the fact that we're not Frank Gotch out here.
Exactly. But that doesn't mean that someone can't wrestle. They may just like the deathmatch style of wrestling.
Yeah.
Those are two completely different things.
Yeah, I think it is two different, but it's people looking at one of them and being like, 1 + 1 = 2, and that is why Hangman got hurt. It's because I was going to say
love
3.
that you struggled.
Well, I was going to say
1
3.
+ 1 = 2.
It's because instantly I was going to go like, because 1 and 1 makes 3. It's the line from Cult's Personality. Because it's a way to be like, I'm telling you something that is wrong, but you think it is right.
Yes.
Or I'm telling you that it's right. But I was like, no, I actually want to get this right.
Which is, what's the correct
answer? So I had to pause and be like,
2.
1 + 1 is, I can't say 3 because that's wrong. It's not 4. It's probably 2 then.
2. Probably.
So you put 1 and 1 together and you get 5. And you decide then that like, well, Moxley always hurts people and he always injures people. But again, because it's at the same time as the Hangman thing, because I feel like this didn't actually become a thing when Dark aired. It became a thing after the Hangman injury. Yeah, and I think sort of like you get 1 and 1 and you make 3, and I meant it that time. That's when you start putting pieces together. You start getting your little red rope and you're tying things together, and you come up with this idea that AEW is an unsafe working environment.
Don't know what that was.
I made a cable fall by using my mind alone.
The power of your voice.
The power of my voice. The power of my maths made that cable slip.
the trope of referees ejecting people from ringside is my favorite thing. Not necessarily that, it's just because of the way they do it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
yeah.
the business of you and you get out here. And then it happened in Rampage as well.
Yes.
And I was having such a good time with
Ah,
that. So if you're gonna
great.
if you're gonna do heel interference, at least give me that. You know?
It's very pantomime.
Yeah, it's the best
great.
pantomime.
Yeah. We then had Rey Mysterio versus Ludwig Kaiser. My notes for this match are Rey pays homage to Eddie.
Yeah.
Rey pays homage to Eddie. 619 for the win.
And if that ain't Rey Mysterio in 2022,
That is facetious.
Yeah.
This was a fun match and I enjoyed it.
And then we had the ref pointing away. We had the lie cheat, the steal, which I enjoyed.
I really enjoyed that spot because if the referee legitimately thought that Gunther used the chair on Rey, that's a DQ. You wouldn't eject him,
But he
that's
didn't
a DQ.
see it, so he can't be sure. So instead, what he can do is get out of here. And then the heels in the ring are like, "What? What's so gross about
No!
it?" But I'll follow the rules and leave. Like, I love it. It's my favorite segment every time. I really do like it.
Now, Dan.
Yeah.
This is. I've got this for just you.
Okay.
I took this out of my edited review.
Okay.
Because it was running long anyway.
You get a little exclusive.
So I was putting on Raw this morning. I didn't sleep very well last night. Lots of like nightmares that the kid was in the room, and like in terms of like she was playing in bed with us, and then we were asleep, so we were rolling over.
Oh, not like in a Halloween.
Not in a
vibe where
Halloween thing. No,
the
like,
child is evil and going to kill you.
No,
'Cause that's
no,
what
no.
I would dream
No,
about.
she's delightful.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But she, she's
They all
just,
seem delightful at first, Luke.
she's smiley, she's happy, she's playing around, and then,
Right.
but then I'd be like, oh no, I'm gonna roll over, because my wife's got one of those like hugging pillow things. When
Right.
she rolls over, I'm like, you've got the kid, stop trying to crush the child. So I had a lot of these sort of like dreams and nightmares and stuff, and I was waking up like every hour and stuff. So about like 5:30, I was like, I forgot to make the bottle last night anyway, so I'm just gonna go down and just start watching Raw now. And you know the theme song,
The Raw tonight.
Greatness,
Oh,
feels like you were about to do the.
Tonight is the night.
I think you were gonna do the Nickelback one.
Let me tell you the reason that one is in my head, because it's funny that you should bring up the theme. About 2 days ago, I went back and watched all the openings to Raw and decided which one. And I will say, the Nickelback.
It's thorn in my eye. It's,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
But I also have a soft spot for.
Oh, yeah. Union Underground.
I also have a soft spot for the Nickelback one.
yeah.
Is it Nickelback?
Yeah. We're going out tonight.
Hey!
We're doing the man and dance.
Hey,
We're doing
I
the
also like I just wanna be loved.
Oh, I forgot that
There are
one.
some
That's my university
bangers.
one.
There are some
Yeah.
absolute bangers on the Raw theme front.
But the reason why I wanted to bring up this one, because it's like greatness. Yeah, it feels like greatness. I couldn't not unhear him saying, yeah, it's gravy. Yeah, it feels like gravy.
And
it feels like gravy.
well, perhaps we'll have a Thanksgiving edition of the show at some point, and it will feel like gravy.
So anyway, I was already chuckling away to myself on this show because it feels like
It
gravy.
feels like gravy.
It just feels like gravy, everyone. I'll take this one.
Okay.
Actually, no. I think it's probably better if you read
Okay.
this.
Larami Eshnar says, I used to be a fan of this channel until Luke had the audacity to say that Mikey was the third best turtle when he is objectively the best. He's Sami Zayn, for God's sake. The order goes Mikey, Ralph, Donnie, Leo. Anyway, cowabunga Dan, but not you, Luke.
Look, it all depends on which turtles you had. So, 87 turtles for me. I don't think Mikey is the best one. However, if you said to me it was like 2013, I'd be like, yeah, I think arguably Mikey is the best of the lot. But if you're looking at Turtles in Time, like he's not the best one. If you're looking at the movies, I don't think he's the best one.
So much analysis between you and the chat and the comments have gone into these turtles that, I'll be honest with you, entirely passed me by because I was too busy watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch again.
Well, again, but I think you fell into the poor generation in this time because, like, when I was a child, I had the 87 Turtles, and by the time you were of that age, the Turtles were basically dead, and the Turtles just went on hiatus for 10 years.
Yeah.
Unless you count the new the new Mutation live action series, which is quite bad.
I was born right on the cusp of the 90s.
Exactly,
so-
yeah. So I think the 90s kind of missed the Turtles bandwagon. It's sort of like it didn't have a 90s, it just had some nostalgia for the 80s one. Then you get into the early 2000s, you get the 2003 series, which, you know, I've got no nostalgic feelings towards. I think it is okay, but if you were a child, then it's the best one. 2013 Turtles, though, is amazing. It is a quality show. Every single season, bar maybe the last one, is absolutely perfect television. I cannot get enough of it. And Mikey in that show is so great.
You feel as passionately about these turtles as I feel about Karen Walker from Will and Grace, and I quite respect it.
Yeah, I mean, I was honestly, but I think if you were to collate them all together, if you were to collate all the different variations of them together, I think Mikey's the third best one. He's no Donnie, because Donnie's the best one. He's no Raph, because Raph's at least got some interesting character to him. But, last Ronin, so I can't completely go against the lad.
Infamously, you have a lot of time on your hands, Luke. So if you ever, on the many days where you find yourself kicking about with not a lot to do, if you ever feel like drawing a graph about these, I would like...
Oh, I mean, there's a YouTube video in all of this where you would do like a ranking of all the turtles from all the different iterations. Yeah, do it through all the comics, the various different iterations of the IDW stuff. There's plenty to be done here. I did talk about doing a Turtles podcast at one point.
Infamously unbusy Luke Owen. Find some extra time in your calendar and do it.
This was before I started doing my Games Master podcast. Yeah. I did do like 3 test episodes of a Turtles podcast that reviewed all of the 2013 show, and I did it on my own. But it's actually quite lonely doing a podcast on your time, and I wanted to talk about it with a friend.
Yeah.
So, but maybe it's a bonus episode I'll do on my Games Master podcast at some point.
I'm in full support. You need an outlet, it sounds like, because this is now 2 weeks in a row.
Well, it's just I think the Turtles are great, and as a multi-generational thing, they're awesome.
I respect that.
Yeah.
David Evans says,
"Have you seen the movie?
No,
the original movie.
I've not seen any. I know that. That's X-Men. That's what I mean. I was about to tell an anecdote about something entirely different.
The original movie, the 1991, is I think arguably the greatest comic book movie ever made.
I was a Power Rangers fan.
Oh, Power Rangers. Yeah, I mean, then you'll probably love the 1990 movie. Then it's really good. I've interviewed. So here's a fun Luke Owen story.
Please.
During my my freelancing days, I woke up one morning and I thought to myself, why was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, the movie, so bad? And I was just pondering, I was like, why was this so bad? So I then just used a lot of my resources that I had to reach out to the producer of the movie and then had a Skype conversation with him as to why the movie was so bad.
Sometimes life is so weird.
And then I had a chat with him, and then that led me on to talk to other people about it. And then I just basically interviewed a lot of the people that made all of the live action 90s movies. And I had an hour and a half conversation with Kevin Eastman on the phone, ironically, while I was wearing Turtles pajamas because of the time difference and stuff. And I ended up writing a series of articles about how the live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies got made.
So you're a Teenage Mutant Ninja scholar.
In a way, I mean, yeah, I've got lots of audio interviews that I've recorded over the years. Like I say, over the years, over a period of like a month and a half, where I was just chatting with loads of people who made these movies. But yeah, I just woke up one day and I was like, "Why is that movie so bad?" And I'll call the producer. I'll call the producer. Turns out it's Peter Laird's fault. Yeah. Like that was the sum total of our conversation.
Peter Laird.
It's Peter Laird's fault.
How could you?
Because Peter Laird didn't want them to do stuff that was like from the show and stuff. But anyway, that's beside the point. We've gone way too long on this show, so massive apologies to you, Dan, because I know you're a busy boy.
I've got several pubs to go to.
Yeah, I mean you do. I've got things to do. I've got a show to edit.
Yeah.
But and we are going to draw this episode to a close. Thank you all so much for your ultra chats. Thank you all so much for watching this stream, and thank you for indulging me on my TMNT chat, which probably did not need to be on this show.
Sami Zayn then comes back and says, "Look, man, I just want peace. The tribal chief said he wants peace." And Jey Uso, in arguably the line of the segment, if we're discounting the other one that broke everyone later, says, "I don't give a damn what the tribal chief said." And instantly, everyone goes, "Oh no, you can't say that, Jey." And instantly, Roman Reigns has just kind of been standing there, just kind of mulling in his own thing, kind of head down. As soon as he said that, his head just snaps upwards and he looks down the camera. And you hear the crowd just go, "Oh!" Because everyone just like this ripple out from this of everyone just being like, "Uh-oh." And the crowd start chanting, "You effed up. You effed up." Very, very slow turnaround from Reigns as he stares down Jey. You can see like Sammy's off at the side like, "Uh-oh, Jey's messed up." And despite everything, Sami then sticks up for Jey.
Yeah.
And says, "Look, man, like, he didn't mean that. You know, he's been through a lot. He's going through a lot." he didn't mean that, right? And you can hear Jey off mic being like, didn't mean that, I didn't mean that. And he's like struggling to, you know, the way that Jey Uso has acted in the past, he kind of like shuts down a little bit. He's like, no, I didn't mean that. I'm like, you know, kind of withdraws within himself. And then Sami Zayn says, he hasn't been feeling very Ucey. And everyone dies laughing. The crowd starts laughing. Roman starts laughing. Jey starts laughing. Everyone breaks in the segment. I found it hilarious. And you could argue that maybe it robbed some of the emotion out of the segment because it was supposed to be very serious, but also it's really funny, so I don't mind. It was so good. I've written in my notes, oh god, they're breaking. This is a mess. But then Roman Reigns comes to Jey Uso and says, if you can't find your inner Ucey, I'm going to do something you're not going to like. And I'm going to take the honorary out of the honorary Uce. We'll make him an Uce and we'll rename him Sammy Uso. Crowd start chanting, Sammy Uso. And the segment ends. Oh! I love all of this so much. I have so many thoughts, but I will hand it to you because I have just spoken for about 10 minutes.
Hot diggity dog.
Oh!
This is everything that I want out of wrestling soap opera storytelling.
Yeah.
You know, it was so wonderful. Genuinely, I wish everyone could have seen our reactions that were separate, because I didn't even get to see your reaction. You didn't just get to see mine. But when he says, I don't give a damn what the tribal chief thinks, and I'm not like on my phone, I'm not scrolling Twitter, I'm not doing any of that when this is all happening.
Mm-hmm.
I am captivated, and he says that, and me sitting in my desk chair after the fact the next day, even I'm still just this is a perfect segment.
Yeah, mine was very similar because I was also typing up notes at the same time, as you often do. I'm trying to I'm watching the show and I'm not looking at what I'm typing, but I'm just typing up like some of the lines and stuff I've got in front of me now so I can reference them when we're on the podcast. And I was literally just watching the show and I just stopped typing after he said the line. And I literally my jaw dropped legitimately. I had an actual out loud gasp went, as he said it. I was like, oh my God, you can't get away with saying that. Wonderful stuff.
We are getting into the absolute highest tier of WWE storytelling. As far as the main roster goes, this is unbeatable right now.
Yeah. God. I don't have too much else to say. It's amazing. If you haven't seen it, please go and watch it. It's the best. Let's get into some of your Ultra Chats here. Let's see what you guys think about this stuff. Jonathan Hedburn's been a member for 15 months in a row. This was brilliant. I loved every second of this. May I suggest changing Ultra Chats to Ucey Chats? Have a great weekend. Thank you so much, Jonathan Hedburn. And as of right now, the SmackDown Ultra Chats are now the Ucey Chats.
Wonderful.
We'll make that official. I'm making an executive decision. It's Luke's channel, but I'm making the call.
So, everybody, story time. And it's always fun when you start talking and you're like, this is going to go in the best of thing, isn't it? So, yesterday, was Sullivan Bo Brown's birthday. Happy birthday, Sullivan.
Happy birthday.
Get on board. Subscribe to No Rules Barred.
Yes.
A lot of the No Rules Barred people were at Sullivan's flat having a birthday party.
I wasn't. I was busy.
You were busy.
I'm sad about it.
Yeah. You could have prevented this story from happening. And there may or may not have been alcohol involved. Everybody was very having responsible. Fun. Yes. Everybody's having a good time. Everybody was being responsible. I have come to realize my error in all of this was I drank the bad decisions drink, which is when you got a pretty good buzz going and you pour yourself another drink, and that's when people start getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
And now it's not, oh, this drink will last me an hour, so you just sip it, you nurse it a little bit. It's like,
down it.
We got to down this and go. I down that drink pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And I was a little heavy-handed at this point in the night, and so I'm leaving Sullivan's place. This is probably about 3 a.m, I would say. And I get in my Uber to go. Not that far from his place to mine. I get in my Uber to go. I'm like, I'm going to order some food. Just,
sense.
have a little drunk meal. It'll be lovely. I order this meal. I order some Wendy's. And the Wendy's is probably going to arrive in my flat about the same time that I will. It's like, this is perfect. I get home, set my stuff down. I'm a little wobbly, and I look and I check, and there's the order. The car drives by, right? And it stops like a few houses down, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go get my food. And I go and I get my food, and I was like, they probably just like missed the number on the thing, and it happens. I get my food, I go back inside, set it down, and I'm getting ready. I'm excited. I'm getting ready to eat my delicious food. And like 5 minutes later, maybe, I get a phone call, and I'm like, hello? It's like, oh, it's your Uber driver, got the food, I'm outside. I was like, oh, great, okay. And I go outside, and you might be thinking, wait, what? But I'm in a stupor, and I think nothing of this situation. I go outside, and I'm like, yeah, that's perfect. Thank you so much. I grab it, go back inside. And I set this bag down next to the other bag, and I was like, well, that's too many bags.
Yeah.
There's a problem here.
Too much food.
It's a lot of food. It's a lot of food. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess someone else just ordered Wendy's this exact same time as me, and sorry, I guess I've got your food now. And I didn't even think about it that far because I was too drunk to make heads or tails of the situation and everything. It wasn't like, oh, I should go and see it. It's also like at this point, 3:30 in the morning. So I'm not going to go and knock on doors to be like, I got you food, So I'm like, well, I got a lovely bounty here. I've got a plentiful meal in front of me. And I passed out. I ate chicken nuggets. 8 chicken nuggets were all that I ate, and I blacked out. And I did not set an alarm either. So there may have just been no Rampage review. if it absolutely could have been, because I woke up about the time that I'm getting ready to leave my apartment to go here.
Yeah.
So very easily could have gone very wrong for the sake of work. But I'm a champion. I can rally and get things done. Watched Rampage on double speed, but I wake up and I'm like, my God, there's so much Wendy's around me. It was like 3 burgers were sitting there. I had 3 orders of fries in this bag, 2 drinks, and a chicken nugget. And I was just like, that's insane. What in the world? And I'm like, I'm also at this point, I haven't drank any water, by the way. Mix in a water, people. Don't be like me. And I'm like, okay, I need my bottle of water. I start to come to a little bit. I'm watching Rampage. I'm munching on some cold fries at this point.
Disgusting.
It's a wonderful thing to wake up to. And going through, and I was just like, that's funny. What an ordeal. Got two orders.
Yeah.
That's
on someone's food.
That's
Crazy.
great.
Yeah.
Maybe they just made a mistake and sent 2 orders.
Yeah.
Things happen. And get to work, film everything. I wait for Pete to come in. Pete and I walk to the shop to get, I wanted a coffee, you wanted your lunch, and you astutely just pointed out, sure you didn't just order twice? I was like, no. And this is the bit that's not going to be in the edited review. When I pulled out my phone, I was like, I really hope I didn't spend like 40 quid on Wendy's last night.
Yeah.
And just look. And I made 2 orders for Wendy's 10 minutes apart and was too drunk to remember that I'd already placed an order. I have never been so drunk as to do that.
It was beautiful. The moment of me just saying, are you sure you didn't order twice? And you're like, I mean, I hope not. And then you got out your phone and we were walking towards the shop. And then it was just silence from Tempest. And I was like, oh, I think he's ordered twice, Said, you're right, Tempest. Did you order twice, bud? And he was like, I ordered twice, Pete.
I cannot believe this. And again, I would never order the order that I made. One of them was fairly close to the actual order that I probably intended to make.
Yeah.
Which was like a double combo, fries, drink, and then nuggets to go with it.
Sure.
That sounds like a drunk meal that I would place. The other order, which I believe was the order that I placed first, which makes even less sense, was like the same double combo
Yeah.
with an order of fries with a chicken sandwich. I would never place that order. And I remembered none of it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Absolutely none of it.
Oh, so much fun. Well, good job, Tempest.
Thanks, man.
Proud of you. At least you came to work today.
I did.
That's honestly.
We're
that's,
going out
that's-
after this.
That's an achievement. Yeah, we're gonna go get drinks after
I
this.
had like 3 hours sleep. Sullivan didn't even drink on his birthday because he's got a performance today. He's doing a play.
Everyone just got drunk around him. That's great.
I also did have the moment today where I opened my backpack that I hadn't unloaded stuff from last night.
Mhm.
And I pull out what remained of the bottle of Jack that I had been drinking. I was like, there's a lot less in here than I thought there was. Because it was not a small bottle of Jack.
Nope.
And I did not share it.
Nope. Oh, Tempest.
I've not had a night like that
No.
in years.
Yeah. God, I'm sad I missed it. I really wish I was there.
Won both games at Clock Tower, though, because I am a champion.
Of course, that's the way it works. That's why you've got all the gold. Shall we get into the remaining of the Ucey chat?
I'm crying.